Hello, Anson Garcia with Verizon. Today we'll be talking about Skype for Business and their strategic move to Microsoft Teams. This is a game changer in my opinion. These guys are serious, and I'm going to give a little Federation demo at the end of this. So I'm going to salt the oats now, and then we'll go ahead and give a good demo of what's going on for Skype for Business and Teams. So let's get started. What is it? So Microsoft publicly stated that over time, they certainly intend that Microsoft Teams is going to replace Skype for Business, certainly in the Office 365 realm or Skype for Business online realm. Not Skype for Business Server, not yet anyway, but I think that'll eventually come. So what can we glean from this? Well, basically it's a heads up from Microsoft that their strategic direction is Teams, no doubt about that. Additionally, with all the stuff that we saw released at Ignite, which I'll talk more about in a second, they are going to leverage Skype for Business, the foundation of Skype for Business Online or Skype for Business Office 365, to deliver the full enterprise voice video communications that Skype for Business Online had. Additionally, Skype for Business Server will continue for now, but again, I asked for how long. They are building a federation in these things, which I'll show you in the demo, migration tools, and all kind of stuff to make sure people can easily go from Skype for Business over to Teams. Okay, it's very evident that they want you to go this way. Just like Cisco is doing from possibly Jabber to Spark, right? I think both of these companies see the direction is in team messaging, business messaging. So what's coming from Teams? Let's talk about this, because these are big things released from Microsoft. And these are visions. Some of them already come out, but they are subject to change. But they were talked about quite at length at Ignite. Telephone calling. So telephone calling. This was displayed, or this was demonstrated at Ignite. So PSTN calling is what we're talking about: receiving calls, making calls, call history, calling someone in my contact list, visual voicemail, things like that, from the Teams interface, from the Teams platform, from the Teams application. In addition to that, visual voicemail with transcription right inside Teams, speed dials, E911, and that's a big one. When I saw that talked about, then I immediately thought, these guys are serious about replacing Skype for Business as their strategic outlook for enterprise voice video with Teams. So there's no doubt about that. If they're bringing in E911, they're certainly thinking that Teams is going to be the new platform. It's going to be the enterprise platform of choice going into the future. Bring your own trunk option. That's interesting. So what I gleaned from this, or what I recall from this, was basically, and I'm theorizing here, I think there'll be like a Skype for Business server, a media server, something on site. You'll have an SBC. So let's say you have a Sonos or an audio codecs, and there's only going to be a few that are approved. You have an SBC on site. Maybe you have Verizon SIP trunks. Then you have a front-end server, a Skype for Business server, or something there that can take that SIP trunk, and then that SIP trunk or that server then will connect up to the cloud. Maybe won't be that server. Maybe right from the SBC connect up to the Teams cloud. In other words, you can use Teams and you bring your own trunking provider. Okay, now by no means is Microsoft backing off and being a telco. They're continuing that build out, but they do have some gaps that I've read about, some gaps in coverage, DN numbers and things like that around the world, and possibly this could be the gap filler for that particular thing. They had the same thing with Skype Hybrid. Cloud meeting recording. So we're right within Teams, just like very much like WebEx, you'll be able to record your meetings. Not only that, you'll have transcription service as part of that. So how long that takes, I don't know, but you'll be able to go back into that team room, I believe, where that meeting was uploaded or recorded, and you'll be able to search for keywords within that transcription of that meeting, and then be able to go right to that particular point in the recording. Single admin portal for Skype for Business and Teams. So right now, Teams doesn't even have a portal to speak of in Office 365. It is just an application that you turn on and off. Skype for Business, however, right, you have voice features and things like that. You have some IVR stuff, voicemail and things like that, and those things are inside the Skype for Business portal. Okay, now if you have, think about this, if you have Teams now that's going to support voice, enterprise voice, and have call hold and voicemail and all that stuff, you don't want two PBX systems, right, or two admin portals to be able to deal with. So everything's going to come under one admin portal. All those voice features and things will be under one, whether you're using Skype for Business or using Teams. Okay, if you think about that, obviously Exchange is going to have a different admin portal. SharePoint has its own admin portal. So um, if you're not familiar with Office 365, there's a main admin portal where all analytics roll up to, and then you have other admin portals because there's specific applications and features in those applications that you deploy to your users. So one of the reasons they're doing that is so all these analytics. So definitely you want call volume analytics. You want, how many meetings, how many meeting minutes, how many people called, how many, all those things. Certainly, like Cisco does a good job of how many rooms were created, how many people had meetings in the rooms and things like that. And you want that certainly in one place, and that's why they're doing this unified portal for Skype for Business and Teams. API access for all the QoS statistics, so all the voice video statistics and real-time protocol stuff, or real-time control protocol stuff that you can gather from that. The Skype for Business certified phones, so any phones that you can put on your Skype for Business today will be able to be migrated right over to Teams. So that's what I was talking about. They have like one uniform or the foundation for the voice video stuff for Teams is actually the Skype for Business foundation. All the underlying infrastructure. So things like that are going to be able to be ported over. And then obviously Skype for Business room systems, the Polycoms and things like that, they're going to be able to be migrated as well. And then this is big. So tools for migrating. So I talked about that in the prior slide. They are certainly doing a lot in the tools for migrating users from Skype for Business to Teams. So onboarding, some of the tools that I saw that are like notifies. This is kind of more of adoption services. Like I'm going to be notified inside my Skype for Business or Teams client that, hey, I'm going to, Skype for Business is going away. I'm going to move, everything's going to be moving to Teams. So that's going to come to me inside those platforms themselves. And then not only that, when I do get migrated over, all my contacts, history, all those things that were in Skype for Business are going to come over with no problems right into meetings. Okay, think about that. That means I leave today with Skype for Business on my desktop, and I come tomorrow with Teams on my desktop, and everything's nice and neat inside there. All my contacts and history and things like that. And if I was using Teams already, I don't lose any of those channels I was in or part of or anything like that. So that's pretty neat. Calling interop between Skype for Business and Teams. So you'll be able to, maybe half your company is using Skype for Business, and that's fine for them. All they need is instant messaging. And maybe you've moved your knowledge workers onto Teams because they're more team-oriented and they're collaborating more and things like that, and they need more team-oriented applications. But you don't want both of those being able to use or have to use two different platforms to be calling, whether it be an internal user or calling mom on the PSTN. So be calling the interop. In other words, a Teams person will be able to look up someone that's actually in Skype for Business, and then not only instant message them, which I'll show you in a minute, but go ahead and call them right from their Teams application, whether it be on a desktop or on your mobile device. And the reverse is also true. So Skype for Business, I can look up somebody. If they may not have a Skype for Business client, there you'll use all Teams, and I'll be able to call them with my enterprise voice features on my Skype for Business client. So what are others doing? Okay, namely Cisco, because we all love Cisco, and I wanted to do a little bit of comparison and contrasting here, but it's not. We're not comparing apples to apples here. Obviously, Office 365 is a pure cloud play. It's a multi-tenant thing, and Cisco HCS, like Verizon UCaaS, is not. It's a dedicated instance, so all those benefits from dedicated instance things come over, and it's important to make sure and delineate between the two platforms. But we are seeing customers that are looking. They're looking at both platforms. They're looking at UCaaS in the same light as the Office 365 platform, and they're kind of comparing the two. So it's important to delineate those and help your customers understand what the benefits of each are. So Cisco is still king in advanced voice features, right? They've been king for quite a while. Okay, the features are endless inside Cisco Call Manager and as part of a UCaaS or HCS offering from any one of the top vendors. Is that powerful? Absolutely, it's powerful. That's powerful for a lot of enterprise users. Does it keep you on top? Maybe not. Nortel was definitely king in voice video features 10, 15 years ago, and they got knocked off. So that's not enough, right? Now, I think Cisco realizes this. Now, Cisco has a very well-developed online web collaboration tool, right? WebEx. Again, features are endless. I can't even begin to name them all, but everything in the kitchen sink is available in that thing, and not so much, on the other vendors. It can be argued that they're more simple, and things like that. But again, with lots of features comes more complexity. But if you need features and need functionality, this one's going to stick out. Definitely, WebEx is going to be king. Cisco has a good. Let me check these off. We went through those. Cisco has a good user-focused strategy concerning SparkBoard. So they did a lot with SparkBoard. It was a big splash. I was kind of like, meh, it's okay. I kind of see their vision now. It's definitely, I have to say, if you take a look at one of my other videos where I'm talking about the SparkBoard and how easy it is to be in a team space, in a space, and then walk in somewhere and have that proximity ultrasonic sound pair up, and you just push one button, and all of a sudden your space is on the board, and you can create a meeting and create whiteboards. Now it can be argued that the whiteboard features like the pens and what's available there, that's not there yet, but there's no debating. It's crystal clear that the easeability to use a SparkBoard, that has always been the Achilles heel of telepresence units and things that have been traditionally on the wall and you walk up to, have been intimidating for users and complex to say the least. I have to say, good marks on SparkBoard. Very easy to use, very simple. It took kind of the Apple approach, one button, clean, things like that. So kudos on that thing, and they're definitely going the right way there, in my opinion. If you don't agree, please comment below. Cisco's leveraging Spark Hybrid to piggyback on the telephony feature gap. Obviously, we have feature gaps. When you go over to a new platform, whether it be Microsoft Teams or Spark, Cisco Spark, all that underlying infrastructure that was built up is lacking. So Microsoft strategy is to back Teams into the voice video technology and platforms that they've already built for Skype for Business Online. It appears Cisco's strategy right now, anyway, is to back Spark into what they call Spark Hybrid, and that's either leveraging the telephony and video access or features from your on-prem CUCM server or Cisco infrastructure, or your HCS provider like Verizon, UCAS. With Spark Hybrid, they're able to also integrate with back-end Office applications, enterprise applications like Outlook and Gmail, G Suite, and things like that. So that's their kind of strategy to fill the gap, the telephony features. And then Cisco obviously is going forward with their telephony features in Spark Call, no doubt about that. They're releasing features all the time. But the big enterprises, which need very complex, voice features, you're going to be able to glue these things together. Again, I have some talks on Spark Hybrid and what it is. Go take a look at that if you don't know what that is. So what are the challenges for Cisco HCS providers? Again, to be clear, HCS is far different than a cloud multi-tenant system like Skype for Business Online or MS Teams, what MS Teams is going to grow up to be, right? You got better video quality, voice video quality, again, because it's dedicated. It's if you buy from an HCS provider, hopefully Verizon, UCAS, you get MPLS connected platforms, you get dedicated platforms. Those dedicated platforms are able to be massaged and integrated to other systems in your enterprise, very tightly integrated, CTI, APIs exposed, all those things come along with a dedicated system. So the business case has to be there, right, for these things to make sense. Obviously, QoS end-to-end. If you're using your own systems and your own systems are connected to your MPLS network, you're going to get quality of service end-to-end. You're going to have a much better experience as far as the voice, video, and things like that quality. It can certainly be argued more secure because it's a private network with a clear perimeter around it. The biggest challenge I see with Cisco is, and we're all trying to figure this out, is the delineation, the gaps, I guess, the large delineation in the features and the look and feel. So Jabber, Spark, WebEx, these things, and I think Cisco is well aware of this, and they're trying to fix that. And in fact, there's some things, and hopefully I can do a talk on, the future of Cisco Spark and how these things are coming together. But needless to say, I think the biggest challenge is to create a unified platform, a unified client, and to make these things look like they're all the same. Again, and that's Microsoft's challenge as well when they talk about Skype for Business and Teams. But we're talking more Teams on this talk. So let's do a demo and let's see where Microsoft is taking this. And we're going to do a little federation between Skype for Business and Teams. I've been talking about federation lately, and this is something that was released at Ignite, and it was just released to the public a few weeks ago, and I thought it was quite neat, and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to show you that it doesn't work very well either. So let's take a look at that. Let's go over here. Let's take a look. Let me give you the layout here. We have Anson Garcia. He is a Skype for Business user, and we'll call it Company A. And we have Lynn Garcia, also Company A, and she's already migrated to Microsoft Teams. So she has you can look down here, we do have Skype there, but it's not open. Okay, so there's no Skype for Business. She does not use Skype for Business online, but Anson does. Again, both part of Company A. Now you can see here, right there, that I have Lynn Garcia there. Is she logged in on another PC or a mobile device? No, she is not. And the reason I know that she is on Teams, so this is that federation. So I'm talking about Skype for Business talking to Teams here. The reason I know she's on Teams is look at that right there, IM only. So that's odd. Never seen that before. But look over here. Lynn sees Anson Garcia, and look at that. There's a little Skype icon. You see that right there? It kind of goes away when I go over it, but you see that Skype. So as a Teams user, she can tell right away that Anson Garcia is a Skype user. Again, this is only within your own company. This does not work. Don't be fooled here and think that you can use Teams to communicate with other Skype for Business online users or Office 365 Skype for Business users outside of your realm, outside of your domain, outside of your company, nor can you talk to Skype for Business or Skype consumer users either. That may be coming. I haven't seen anything on that, but let's just make sure that we're talking within the company here. And I get this little guy over here. I get a little Skype emblem here, and it says this user is currently using Skype for Business. Some Microsoft Teams features won't be available. Okay, so it's kind of warning me that if I try to do something, maybe it's not going to work. Okay, I got it. Okay, so let's take a look. Does it work? If I bring a chat up, double click there, and I try to chat with Lynn, she's on a completely different platform now. And look at that. We got something. Okay? And there it comes. Okay, a little slow to react there. And the other thing, and I can talk back here, so you kind of get the gist of it. Okay, fair enough. This is federation, what I call federation, between Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business. Very important, very good move on Microsoft's part because they want to move people, they want to migrate people over to the Teams, and Teams is going to be their new voice video platform. So some obviously going to stay over on Skype for Business World, and then some are going to move over, and maybe not all, maybe all in the future. Who knows? But I wanted to show you that, and then I wanted to show you the bad part of this too. So there's a good part, and there's always a bad part, right? Does it work seamlessly? Well, the texting, the instant messaging certainly seems to work seamlessly. There's a little delay. It's definitely Skype to Skype. There's very, very little delay, but you saw that there was a little delay. But as you can see right down here, Lynn has herself as busy. Maybe she has herself at Do Not Disturb, which is even uh, more egregious that Anson tried to talk to her. Why did Anson try to talk to her? Because over here, she showed as available. So this is supposed to work, and believe it or not, sometimes it does work. It certainly works the other way. In other words, if Anson Garcia puts himself as Do Not Disturb, you can see over here that, but there you go. There it is. So it seems to work one way very, very well, but the other way just does not seem to work very well. Uh, so I've given it a day or two. I've been playing around with this just to see, is it something on the back end Microsoft was having trouble with? And it may be something that they're having trouble with over the weekend here. But if anything, any updates or anything, I'll test it again in a couple of days. If anything starts working exactly right, I'll make sure and put that in the comments below and or the notes below. I hope this has been informative, and thanks for watching.